Hey party people, welcome to the Lucent Glass YouTube channel. I'm Jessica, the owner of Lucent Glass, your go-to spot for all things art glass, right here in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. Today we're demonstrating how to set up and take down your inland glass grinder. Your glass grinder is your most expensive investment into your studio setup, and proper maintenance can help extend the life of your tool. We're really excited to share this topic with you. If you love stained glass tutorials, please hit the like and subscribe button. Now let's get started. To clean your glass grinder, you're going to need a rag, an Allen key to take off the diamond bit, a little bit of lubricant. This is actually from my partner. He is a bicycle mechanic, so I got this from his stuff. Any kind of lubricant will work, and I'll show you how to use that later. And a bucket of water away from the sink. This is the diamond bit, and it has a small screw here that fits the Allen key. You'll loosen the Allen key and the grinder bit should come off of the grinder shaft. It's always a good idea to take off the bit in between uses, especially if you're not going to be returning back to it for some time. We'll take our bit and we'll remove it off to the side for now. The next thing we'll want to do is take off the top tray. The water reservoir and the top tray separate from each other. And a ton of glass dust always gets built up where the bit sits. This can go into the bucket of water as well. Then we have the water reservoir tray that builds up with a lot of glass dust. You want to be careful not to get this down the drain. So what we typically do is scrape it out and then it goes straight into the garbage. A little spatula and bucket is perfect for this. You'll just start to scrape out the glass dust. This is a great regular practice, as glass dust can build up around this area in specific and stop fresh water supply from getting to the sponge. So if you don't want to do a full clean often, at least scrape out all of the glass dust that is building up around the bit to ensure that clean water can get to the bit. Once you've scraped all of the glass dust, or as much as you can, we're going to take this tray and we're going to dump it into the bucket. And it just lifts off. It can be a little stuck, so just careful so you don't like shoot up because you have water in it. Dump that into there. So now we're left with just the motor, and then all of our components are in this bucket of water, which I'm going to clean and then we'll reassemble. I also just like to take this moment while the tray's off to wipe down the motor of the grinder. And I'll start to clean the tray. I just like to grab a brush and then I'll brush all of the glass dust into this water. And we really recommend not putting this down your regular drain. I like to wash my trays in a bucket and then I'll scrape out the glass dust and it will go into the garbage as well. Once I'm done cleaning the tray, I will dry it off to prevent any water from getting into the motor area of the grinder. So once that's pretty clean, it will likely never be perfectly clean. And I'm okay with this, so I'm going to put it back onto the grinder. Then you will just repeat the cleaning process for all the other parts and try to wipe off as much glass dust as you can. That's looking pretty good. So then I'll put this onto here. Clean off the bitsert and the splash guard. You can put those back together. We're all done with this bucket of water, so I'll push it off to the side. So once everything is clean, you can put it all back together. Look how nicely the bitsert sits in there now, and there's not a whole bunch of glass dust. One way to tell when your grinder needs to be clean when your bitsert doesn't fit anymore. So now you'll get a fresh sponge, and it goes up into the back of the bitsert and pokes out a little bit at the top. So this part will collect water and it will come up through the sponge, keeping a continuous water supply to go to the bit. It also helps clean the glass dust off of the diamond bit while it's being used. And that's why you'll notice this gets so gunky with glass dust, is because it's collecting all of that glass dust as it's cycling through the water. So swap out your sponge when you notice that it's getting really caked up. And that just sits right in there. Now that our grinder is clean, we'll plug it back in. Boyfriend's bike grease. We're going to take a little bit of the bike grease and we'll turn on the grinder on the side. I have bike grease on my finger and I'm just going to apply it to the grinder shaft. Once that's on there, you can shut off the grinder. I like to take a little bit of bike grease on the end of my Allen key and I'll put it into the Allen key spot on both sides just to help keep the screw moving as it gets really stiff in there. So once that's all fine and dandy, we are going to put it back on to the grinder shaft. On the shaft of the grinder, you'll see that there is this flat side, and that's where we want the Allen key to sit. So we'll line up our Allen key with the flat part of the grinder and we'll tighten it there. Now that your grinder is all clean, you can put water back into the reservoir. I just like to move the bitsert while I am putting water into the reservoir so I don't overfill the grinder. If you take off the top tray here, I like to bring the water just up this first ledge here on this middle post. Overfilling the grinder can lead to water getting up around the bit and down into the motor. So you definitely don't want to overfill. I like to get the sponge wet as well. So I'll just kind of dunk it in there. Put back on the top tray. Put your bitsert back in. And of course, your face shield needs to be put back on as well. Make sure you always wear safety glasses when operating a glass grinder and grinding any glass products. I hope you found this tutorial on how to set up and take down your inland glass grinder helpful and feel confident to be able to do it on your own. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you never miss a new tutorial from Lucent Glass. If you have any questions or any topics that you'd like to learn about in future videos, please drop us a comment We would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Happy creating, and we'll see you next time.